right, welcome to my money morning routine. Today is big. So today is the day I close out my budget for September and I start my new budgeting and tracking period for October. So the day I close out my budget and the day I start my new tracking period for the new month are in the same day. So I get a lot of questions to walk people through step by step on how I close out my budget. Now, this month is going to be a little bit different because I'm using the new Budget by Paycheck workbook. I'm working with one Where Did My Money Go worksheet. It's the paycheck or the category breakdown. And you can see that right here. I finished that. But before we jump into that, I do want to walk you through the steps that I took to close out my budget. Step number 1. Get done and completely updated with your spending. You cannot close out your budget if you don't know where your money went. So one of the things about this process is not just doing the work of writing down your spending, but it's about what is that spending telling you? It's you becoming an investigator. It's you starting to know your own spending habits and realizing what this information is telling you. If you are writing down your spending and tracking your spending, then walking away when it's all said and done, then you're missing a huge part of that process. So it's how can we extract the information we need from this data to make the best and better decisions for our money in the future. So one of the ways that we do that, so you're going to get completely updated with your spending. You can see I have it all done. I have them all highlighted, all my expenses highlighted. Step number 2, you're going to go over to your monthly budget category breakdown. You're going to write down your budget categories. Now you can see I use the highlighter method. The highlighter method is essentially having my budget categories. Each category represents a different color. When I'm highlighting my expenses on my expense tracker, the color I'm highlighting them is the category in which I put them in for my budget category. So you can see I have savings, baby, household, miscellaneous, gas, fun and entertainment. So school would be James, garbage would be under our household category. So I like to highlight. Why do I do this? Because I'm a very visual person. So for instance, I can tell you right now just by looking at my cash expense tracker, a lot of it's food. Why? Because my food is the kind of this grayish blue color. I can also tell you here that I had on my checking account expense tracker, I had an expense that I don't normally have, medical. It's this light pink color. It allows me to see very quickly in a visual way what's happening with my spending at any given time. This is why I like using the highlighter method. It also helps with organization. Organizing and your budgeting in the way you manage your money, it all goes hand in hand. So if you don't have some organized way of looking at your money, at your money management, then things can feel very chaotic. What happens when things become chaotic? We shut down. So the highlighter method is a way for me to put all of this chaos into some organized fashion that makes sense where I can extract that information. So you write down your categories. They're then going to write down your monthly budget for each one of these categories. What is the spending limit you are giving yourself for each one of your budget categories? Then you just add up the colors. Literally, that's all you do. You just add up the colors. So you go through, say, okay, all of these reds, that's a pet category. So you're going to add up all the red ones, and then you're going to put the total where that red one is. You're going to add up all your blue. You're going to add up all your green ones, all your purples and pinks and oranges and light pinks and yellows. Add them all up. That's going to be what you've spent for that budget category. And then you just take the difference between what you spent and what you budgeted. That's going to give you whether or not you were over or under budget. So for me, if it's in the red, I was over budget. If it's in like this greenish yellow, I was under. Now you can see I was over budget in a lot of these categories. What does this tell me? One, I need to figure out, okay, well, why was I over budget? And where did I get the money to take care of that spending when it wasn't originally in my budget plan? So for instance, look at homestead. Okay, homestead. This used to be my garden one, but I changed it to homestead. Right here, you can see I spent $349 at North 40 that was not originally planned for this month. I had to put together a structure. I had to buy some things for a structure that for my goats to start winterizing the homestead down for the animals. And so I used $349 of my homestead sinking fund. Yes, I save a small amount from each paycheck to cover some of these unexpected costs that come with owning farm animals or running a homestead. So my homestead, you might ask, well, what does those things include? It's my garden. It's anything to do with the goats, the chickens, structures around the farm equipment, things like that. Now, I do put my chicken feed in my pet category just because it comes with Chewy. But if I get hay or alfalfa, I pay anything for that, then that goes under my homestead. I know why I was over and where it came from. Health and beauty, $357. Okay, so I know my health and beauty is this like pinkish purple color. So well, what's going on? Right there. Race registration. This was not originally in my budget plan. Did I plan on signing up for 5 half marathons? No, but I did. And guess what? I let my checking account cushion eat that, which is why my checking account cushion, I'm at $746 sitting in my checking account. I like to typically keep around $1,000. I'm okay with $700, but typically I like to keep around $1,000 in there. So this is why this is a little low. Okay, and I know why I'm over budget there. Do you see what I mean? So it's understanding if you're over or under. Why is this important? Because it's going to tell you if you need to, maybe it tells you have some type of area in your spending that's creating some problems, an area where you tend to overspend. Maybe you're seeing that trend, that one category where you're constantly spending more than you would like. Or maybe it's a matter of having to tweak your budget categories. Maybe you're being unrealistic with yourself. You're setting your budget, one of your budget limits too low. And so you're continually trying to hit a goal that just isn't realistic for you. Well, then it's time to tweak your budget category. This information tells you how to make your budget better going forward. Because remember, we're not just copying and pasting the same budget. We're constantly improving, changing, tweaking to make our budget more effective in the future. Also, it tells me how much went to savings. $1,882 went towards savings, about 23% of my inflow. Okay. Now, inflow and income, let's talk about up here. Your starting balance is what you had in your checking account the day you started this tracking period. Some people track from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. Some people track based on when they get their paycheck. I track from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. I get one paycheck on the first. Earn income. How much did I earn W-2 income? Earn income from my job. Other income can be selling something from Facebook Marketplace, getting a refund, getting maybe reimbursed in cash from a friend. That's other income. Savings used. Were there any savings that you saved in previous months that you're now spending in the current tracking period and you're using that savings to spend? That's savings used. That gives you your total monthly inflow. This is not your income. Okay, so income is my $5,600. My inflow is what I truly use to cover my spending for the month. So this is me now closing out my budget. That's the entire process. It's one sheet now. It's the monthly budget category breakdown. If you have debt, one of your budget categories should be debt. So this is going to show you how much went to debt, how much went to savings, your inflow, your income, where your money went as far as your budget categories. This page really does tell you everything as far as the information you need to know and extract from your spending to make your budget better going forward. So I got this done. Now, one more thing, I have a lot going on in my wallet because I closed out my budget for September, but remember what I said, I'm now starting October. Okay. So I have my handy dandy sticky note to bring to the teller today. I need to pull out cash for my variable spending for my cash envelopes that I use and my 100 envelope challenge. Now the only thing I haven't done yet is made my envelopes for October. But I'm going to be doing that here in just a short bit. I also have a lot going on in my wallet. So I did end up hitting my Christmas sinking funds goal, $2,029. So what I've decided to do, now that's because I decided when I closed out my budget, I still had some leftover cash in my cash envelopes. I get asked, Miko, what do I do with that money? Well, it depends on your goals and what's going on in your life. For me, I wanted to hit my Christmas sinking fund goal a little bit faster. So I decided to put, you could see it says September rollover. This means I'm rolling over cash, unused cash from September that were in my variable spending envelopes, $277. And then I showed on my another money morning routine video, all the ones that I'm kind of just been like stacking up since January, $114. That brought my total to $2,029. Now, this is thick, okay? I'm not carrying this crap around with me. So what I'm going to do is, because I have so many travel plans, I know for a fact I am probably going to be spending online for a lot of my Christmas. Now, this Christmas sinking fund covers anything from Thanksgiving to the end of December, possibly New Year's. So this $2,000 just isn't Christmas gifts. It's covering, I host Thanksgiving, so it might cover some food costs for doing dinner, Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's. So this covers all of it. So what I'm going to do probably is when I go down to the bank, I'm going to stick it into a savings account at my bank that I can spend from, or use my checking account and then move money seamlessly over from my savings to checking. I just think I'm going to be doing a lot. Now, I will probably get some Christmas gifts when I'm in Switzerland in December, but a big bulk of what I'm going to be buying, I think, is going to be online. I think the way I'm going to be spending this money just makes sense to have it in a separate savings account at the bank. So I have that in my wallet ready to do that. I'm going to go ahead and stick my handy dandy cash envelope, sticky note teller slip right here, which tells me how much I need to pull out from my cash envelopes, what bill denominations I'm pulling out to stuff these things, these goals here. Food, fun, health and beauty, miscellaneous, household, pets. Those are my variable spending categories. And then I'm doing $50 towards my 100 envelope challenge. So that's all in my wallet, kind of thick and ready to go. So that is my money morning routine.